for those of you just tuning in. I'm just waiting for people on Instagram to jump in. And I like to give them a chance. And, whatever. Even small talk, and you can listen to me monologue if you like. I'm enjoying the hell out of TikTok. I know I had opinions on TikTok previously, but every chance you get to dress up as your costume, I never really used to think about it much when I had like a partner, but now that I'm alone, every chance I get to jump into my costume, I do. So, TikTok cosplay is where it's at, let me tell you. Yeah, and I really like that Warhammer stuff, so it's like, it's not as popular in North America, I guess, but it's popular in Europe and in Russia. Or, let's say Slavic nations, I don't want to assume. Hey, Navarre, how are you, brother? Welcome, welcome. It's Friday night. What is it, lonely? I call it Chit Chat. It's supposed to be Chit Chat 13, Lucky 13 on a Friday night. But, yeah, I don't have a whole lot today. I got some props and stuff I worked on. You guys can see there and behind me. I finished up my chain sword. I painted it. I'm waiting to sort of decide on colors, just for highlighting. If I don't get too excited about highlighting, I might just spray it. So that's like, so I went with a gold handle and then I distressed it down with some Citadel gold, right? And then the handle is actually brown, but a really, really dark, sort of looking like walnut, because in the Imperium in 40,000, not necessarily all planets have trees, and a lot of trees, once the mechanists get a hold of them, don't have a lot of trees after that. And then, so I highlighted the body. You can see there, that's the original paint. The original primer I used was military green from an army surplus store, and then I brought it up again with a mishmash, like 4 different colors of green through Citadel, giving that more distressed look and beaten up look. And, originally I was worried about all the damage on the body, but I don't know, maybe I have to turn the light on, but now I just think, like, really, it's a piece of military hardware. The casting would be funny. Like, they don't care. They don't. Anything mass-produced, nobody cares. So, I think I'll leave it because I like the distressing it added. It added a little bit of texture. And then, I tried to distress the teeth to break the shine off them. I'm still debating making them white or not, because they're ceramic. On most of the chainsaws. On this model, they're ceramic. So, I'm fussy about this one thing. Again, not my design. Not my design. Not my design. I got it off Thingiverse, so I'm pretty sure I can dig it up if I have to. I may not. Whatever. And then, so I made for Great Scott, I made him a Joker cane. Sorry, a Riddler cane in solid gold. Yeah, it worked out really nice. It's got a beaten up, distressed look on the handle, and then on the risers it's smooth, so it gives a texture. And I'm just sort of debating if I want to do a single satin and then a bunch of gloss, or if I want to do a gloss and then a finish with a single satin. I'm not really a paint guy, So that's really cool. That's for one of our local cosplayers here. I saw his Riddler costume and I was like, hey man, can I help? Yeah. You can hear the machine running away. Right now, I've recently released 2 designs for Thangs. They have a summer contest going on, so it's like #summer. So you can find those there. And what it is it's a cup to hold these tall boys, or tall cans, I guess. But it has an air gap. So hypothetically, you could gel fill or glycol fill the gap and have a freezer cup. I haven't experimented with it yet because I don't know how big the gap needs to be. But even in the short term, if you pour cold water in that cup and that cup is cold, and then you put the insert in, and then put your cup in it, we worry about the water blowing apart the plastic. But if you don't freeze it, you still have cold water as a jacket around your beverage to keep it cooler for longer. And I made them in the shape of like a shotgun shell because I thought it'd be funny. And I put like a weird hex on the end of it because, like, why not? And yeah, it's pretty outstanding if you ask me. I made two versions. I made one with a handle and one without a handle, so I made this like fun sci-fi handle. It's 3 divots, why not, right? And that's up on things. That'll be cool. Yeah, I think that a lot of people are making these can cups, but they're not thinking about ways to make improvements to the design. So I was just thinking about that. So it is what it is. Wow, I must be talking fast. I'm tired, so I've had 2 energy drinks today. And then this is something I really want to be proud of. I know I've shown it off. I've known I've shown the print, but this shows you can make friends on the internet. I made this for a perfectly good stranger. He had a design he'd always wished he had, and I made this for him. And now that allows us to tie each other to each other. So, I'd love to do this for more people. This is a blaster for a D&D artificer, I think. And I made little shells for it and everything. They pop out, but the version 1's not the or this is the version 2 easy print. But yeah, it works. It's great. I think it's pretty cool. I'm actually quite proud of it. And then, of course, we have to dig out my favorite thing that I've made in recent history. And I've posted pictures and I've talked my trash about it. But I just friggin' love this thing. I made myself a toy Storm Boulder. Like that is just like that is just it is so cool. It's harmless. It's this big piece of plastic. It's actually hollow. So I was thinking about putting computer parts in there and then, doing some tricky stuff with computer parts, but we'll see how the future goes. But one of the things I wanted to show you that people don't know about is that there's actually a cartridge designed into the print on the top, so when you reload, you can have reload scenes with additional magazines. And I don't know if that's a thing in cosplay or not. I love a good reload. After years and years and years and years of airsoft, I freaking love a good reload. So, just imagine, your Sister of Battle, Imperial Guardsman, whatever, Kriegsman, it don't matter to me. But just imagine, you could rig up, right? Because these are scaled to the way I want them scaled. I like it monstrous, so. Oh, thanks, Navarre. That's really nice of you to say. But you could rack these up on your rig and then have 2 in your bolter, right? So, it's just for me, I think that's really a cool thing, right? And if you saw the build of this, it was rainbow filament and a bunch of different colors. It came out really nice. And you can even see the texture's rough, but I don't, like I said with the chainsaw, I don't think I mind because it's supposed to be a military weapon, right? I call this style of stuff, big stuff like this, industrial weapons. And I often think to myself that if you were on a space station and someone with a large blaster like that, were to come on board the space station, it would set off a bunch of alarms. Because when you look at them, they look like they're mining equipment. The Chaos Cleaver, I dropped it, so I can show you, but it's in pieces right now. And then I made a reliquary, so you could hang a reliquary off the end of your Storm Boulder. Because, who doesn't want to be fancy, right? Yeah, give me a second. I made a scabbard, sort of, and I made a power dagger. So you'll see here that it's in 3 pieces because I dropped it And this thing has been a nightmare since I built it, because when I built it, the spool was too heavy for the machine, and it dragged and produced these wonderful lines you see in it, but it's actually really, really terrible for the gluing process. And I sanded them, I worked them out, and actually the handle snapped off too. So I'm going to resin these back together, and it should be a little more robust. I tend to use a lot of 5-minute epoxy. It dries clear, it turns into basically plastic, and it solves so many issues. For example, I'll show you here in a second. So this is the design for the scabbard. It's again, a lot of the things I make are sci-fi based. They're not designed specifically for Warhammer. They're designed just for you to enjoy and put your own spin on. But I felt for that big power cleaver, the Chaos Cleaver, the Rune Blight, it needed its own scabbard because it was so hard to carry and whatever. So I designed one. Now this one was printed in 3 pieces, but not because I wanted it to be. I ran out of filament, and again, you can see it's split. See? Because that's where the glue point is. So what ends up happening is when I do it, is I end up putting resin. That's why you'll see there's eyelets in a lot of stuff I do, because when you pour resin into the eyelets, it doesn't hurt anything. It makes it look cool. You can dye it, and it reinforces the object. But as you can see, this side, when it dropped, didn't split because all the resin. It's not a big deal. You can buy 5-minute epoxy almost anywhere, and if you use a lot like I do, I use a specific store called Coast Fibertech. They're really good guys. Every time I go in there, they're always super fun. So, as for fashion, we've been on a limited pool when it comes to fashion, just because the world's sort of getting rolling again, and the seasons have rolled. And I see some nice summer stuff that I thought was really cool, but I ended up buying 3 different pairs of Dickies pleated shorts in red, gray, and green. And they were really decent, I thought. And for the price, they were like $40 on Amazon Canadian. So they're a formal looking pant, but without being too formal. Fits nice with the shirts and stuff, like whatever you're into, right? I wore it with polos, and I was actually quite excited about the price. So I didn't get them on sale or anything, and they do. Can't touch the contagion, right? Yeah. Someday I hope to get a CR30 and print that thing as one piece. I think that would be just so cool. Even if it's just like the blade and then the pommel goes on separate, like it does now. But to print it in one piece on that running bed, yeah. Just being able to run, I don't know, 3 kilos of plastic all at once would be nice. But my S8 just dies, man. I don't know. I give up on it. I just straight up give up on my Sunlu S8. I don't know what to do. Every thermal plug I get is too short. Every thermistor cable I get is too short. I don't want to solder in because I don't know if that's proper technique or not, and I prefer to use blade connectors. But when I asked my electrician friend, he suggested soldering, and I'm not the king of solder. So it's frustrating. Because if I could, I would. And I just run it and see what happens. But I would like to get some information from people who understand better than I do, And then what else? I don't know. It's been a wild night. Today was a really challenging day for me as a person. So we made it through. So if I can make it through, so can you. And yeah, I guess that's my time. I have some notes somewhere, but honestly, nobody watches these anyway. It's I think, not to offend, I apologize, but I think when these splash down, they total out at 15 views, and I'm not sure if anyone stays to the end. So I guess the keyword is, oh, here we go. That'll be fun. If you stayed to this part, wait 1 day. So this will cycle through, so this time tomorrow, and post the keyword And the key word is pineapple. And don't put any comments, just put pineapple. And we'll see how many people stuck it out to the very end. Yeah. Be kind to people, even when they're brutal to you. You don't know what they're going through. I wish this world had more understanding in it. Be that understanding if you can. Do not endanger yourself by becoming understanding. Take a grain of salt with everything everyone says. Most of the time people aren't even thinking about you. If you need someone to talk to, I'm always here. I don't have any answers. I'm not a doctor. If you need someone to talk to, I can tell you about the weird things I make, and you can tell me about your weird life, right? Fair is fair. I'll do my best. I don't have any answers in life. Welcome to the tribe, and we'll struggle through this as we struggle through everything. And just remember, keep your chin up, protect the neck. Be safe out there.